House Networks presents the Premier Equipment Rentals pregame show.
Well, a very good evening, Kern County. Welcome back to High School Football Game of the Week, Week 8. Are you kidding me? We are in Week 8 of high school football exclusively on Bright House Networks. We're way up on the east side, and we have the quintessential view of Kern County tonight. We are at Highland High School. My partner right next to me, his alumni. And before we talk about the host school of Highland High School, we're going to talk about the traveling, visiting Foothill Trojans down on the grass. To talk about the Trojans and head coach Mike Gregg is Brian Adams, our captain. Captain.
Well, fans, we got Foothill High School tonight, and they're coming in, struggling, trying to get some things going, but they're feeling good about the team because of the defense they played so far. They just had some near miss that they thought could have been some big victories. But look for Denzel Givens. He's a good scat back, able to make guys miss. He's going to be the big play guy that offense needs.
Let's hear from Coach Mike Gregg and his Foothill Trojans. Coach.
We haven't done too much different. We've kind of kept the same rules that we had last year with the kids. Really stressing right now is really working hard on getting out here and working hard every day in practice, making sure that the kids are on time, and we really stress on getting better each week. It's been a struggle. Started out slow. Our team's improved every week. Our kids battle hard every night. We play football every day at practice. I'm happy with them. We just haven't found any results yet. That's what we're looking for, to get some results on the scoreboard. Right now, the kids that have been stepping up for us have been Denzel Givens, number 21. He's playing a very good game. Our sophomore quarterback's getting better each game. He's getting better at reading his keys. And we got another kid named Fernando Leos. And on the defensive side of the ball, Jacob Plagg and Ryan Perez. I think it's going to be an exciting one. It's going to be a fun game. It always is when we play Highland. We always battle each other. Last year we played them twice, and both, the playoff game was just a battle. I think it was 9-6, if I'm not mistaken, the final. So we're looking for a battle. Our key is to make sure we can run the football, and so we can set the pass up from running. And on the defensive side, we just need to keep them in front of us and not let them get us deep.
Assistant Steve Matney.
Well, Kevin, we heard from Coach Gregg and Brian and his prelude, his preview to the Foothill High School Trojans. You're up on familiar ground. We'll talk about Highland High School, the campus, the community, the culture here as the game unfolds. But let's talk about this football team and Coach Hartnett. As you and I and Brian were down on the field before the game, we're looking at some consistent names that we see. Your thoughts on Highland before we hear from Coach Hartnett?
Well, gone is Patrick Sua, but back is John Oglesby, the outstanding linebacker, who is their solid running back as well. This guy does everything. He's the punter, and we've seen Matt Darr play all year, and we know how good he is a punter. John Oglesby is right behind him in the punting category.
We will hear from Coach Hartnett after the kickoff. We're about to kick off, and then we'll hear from Coach Hartnett about his Highland High School Scots. Here we go. We are about to start Week 8 on Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week. The Highland Scots hosting the Foothill Trojans. Foothill's going to receive. What a beautiful night up here. Gorgeous night. Last football game in October, Halloween tomorrow night, and taking at the 6-yard line. The Trojans, he's got a lot of room. Oh, goodness gracious, and beautiful return by Denzel Givens. Let's hear from Coach Hartnett and his Highland High School Scots. Coach.
Before the season started, the one thing we said is we can't have any injuries, and unfortunately we've had our fair share of injuries. They're coming back. That's one of the good things, but it's one of those situations where it takes them a while to get themselves back into playing shape. Of course, we've been playing some good football teams. The keys for us is going to just be execution. We've got to execute our offense. We've got to be able to go out and run plays on the field, have some drives, and we've got to be able to control the tempo of the game by running the ball and throwing the ball, making first downs, and getting down the field. Defensively, they're a pretty tough team, and they give you a lot to look at. They run 2 different offenses. Last week, I saw their film against East High, and they were a winning team. and then against Bakersfield High the following week, they're an option team. It's all assignment football. Everybody has to know what their assignments are and their responsibilities, so there's a lot to try to remember. They're running kind of a different system, you know, different formations for sure. You know, more double tight, less spreading of the field, although this week they may spread the field, who knows. But they've been pretty much just pounding the football.
Well, Kevin, we've seen 2 plays by the Trojans already. Nothing happening there. It's 3rd and 9, so already a 3rd and 9 opportunity for the Highland defense to stuff Foothill a little bit deeper back. Let's see what happens. And the handoff goes up the middle. A nice, strong, hard run. Hey, look at this. First down, Trojans.
25, Fernando Leos.
Well, you talk about Foothill being an option team. And one thing you got to do on those option teams is you can't forget about the fullback. That fullback was Fernando Leos, who's been one of the top running backs for the Trojans.
Woo! That's a big first down. You consider Foothill, you know, 2 runs, nothing, and then all of a sudden on a 3rd and 9, first series of the game, they smash one up for a 9-yard gain. 1st and 10, Foothill. Leos again gets up to midfield. Kevin, both of these teams, they come into league 0-3, but you know, this Foothill team went in quadruple overtime with East High Blades. You were talking to assistant coach Randy Maples before the game. Quadruple overtime. These players got a chance to see just how close they were with one of the top teams in the league.
Yeah, they're solid against the run, and that's going to pay dividends tonight versus Highland. Expect for this to be a defensive struggle.
2nd and 6 from midfield. Another handoff to Leos, and the quarterback, by the way, is Edgar Linares. Linares, Ryan Rangel, the QB for Foothill, number 8. Try to get the names out of players that we're going to be calling quite a bit. Rangel is a sophomore, so
is number 8, Ryan Rangel.
QB in here, and you know they had the same quarterback for 3 years at Foothill, so now all of a sudden Rangel taking over as a sophomore, give him possibly 3 years.
And Rangel just gets better with each game.
3rd and 1, the handoff. Leos believe he got the first down. We're right on top of this. So it says first down, they get it. So here comes Foothill.
Well, Foothill's got to love having success moving this ball up the middle like they are, getting some good surge from their offensive linemen. But what this does, it forces the strong safeties to come up and help in the running game, and pretty soon you get that play action pass. And Givens from his wing back position is their big playmaker.
1st and 10, Rangel, what a great play, right up the middle. What an incredible play through the defense is Jaquan Ford. Woo! Busted through the line. Watch this, number 33 right here. Jimmy Gonzalez.
Yeah,
no, I was right, Ford.
Ford is a guy that just got back healthy, but they really like him on both sides of the ball. And if you take a look at him, he looks like he's out of the mold of a Lorenzo Neal, the former Fresno State fullback.
2nd and 11. Rangel tripped up again. Fumble! Oh my gosh.
Well, that's not. You watch Ford on the defensive line and watch how he explodes off the ball from that nose tackle position. That's just not even fair. Look at that. He's making plays. He's making plays from that A gap and causing just some major disruption in the backfield.
They can't even get the play going. They can't get the handoff on. It's 3rd and 11 now. Rangel, look out from behind. He's hit hard, and he is punished. Fumble, and it's down. The hit was Michael France. Woo, what a hit.
Rangel hit from behind.
Well, Michael France just comes from his outside linebacker position, untouched to the blind side of poor Rangel, the sophomore. He didn't have a chance. They're lucky to get this ball back and to be able to punt it away.
All of a sudden, it's 4th and 24.
6, Edgar Linares.
4th and forever, so Foothill will have to punt. Highland, great job on defense. Perfect long snap. A nice big end over end boot. It's going to be taken right at the 25-yard line. He didn't fair to catch it.
24.
Has some room. If he gets free, flag on the play. Flags everywhere, actually. So all 3 officials that were on top of the play threw the flag, and it was received out there and taken out by Maverick Sua.
Yes, sir. He's the younger brother of Patrick, who's up at Fresno State.
Holding, and going to be against the receiving team, which is
We
Highland.
have a block in the back against Highland.
Bring up 1st and 10, and they're going to march it back. So now we'll get a chance to see this Highland offense. Brian, in or out? Let me know when you're in, Brian. 1st and 10. Just underway. First series for Highland High School. Foothill had a nice series, cut short on some big defensive plays, and Alan Roy brought down. And one thing, Kevin, you and I talked about before the game down on the grass, when I asked you for kind of a snapshot view of this game, you basically said, hey, Foothill defense. Foothill defense is going to keep this thing close.
Well, you take a look at Alan Roy here in the defense of the Trojans. Did a great job of containing Alan Roy, not letting him get outside. Alan Roy had a tremendous year as a sophomore, was injured early on in the season, but they say he's getting healthier as the season goes on.
2nd and 12, Roy in motion. The handoff up the middle. Jaquan Ford now going both sides of the football field. What an athlete this young man is.
Jaquan Ford gets off the ball extremely quick. Low to the gravity. He's going to be tough to bring down. He should, if you take a look at the linebackers for Foothill, number 32 for the Trojans is Ryan Perez. He's a linebacker, 5'6", 165. Boy, that's going to be a tough match for him all night.
3rd and 9 for the Scotsman. In motion is Roy. Prasser tosses it, and it's intercepted. Oh, he dropped it. He dropped it. Oh, goodness. Edgar Linares had it in his hand. And we'll see our audiovisual plus replay.
Well, he had his man open. It was a nice little seam route here by the Highland receiver, which was Jonathan Carter. And Prosser just missed his target. That'll bring up Oglesby as a punter, Vance. And we talked about his talents as a punter. He's averaging about 46 yards a punt. It's off a high booming punt that's short.
Wow, bounces sideways, and Highland is going to get great field position. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line.
Ball down at the 48-yard line by number 8, Carlos.
Well, Brian, our captain on the grass, 2 series, 1 for each team. They both kind of shown us a little bit what to start with, but I'm impressed, first of all, with this Foothill offense. Not bad.
Well, Vance, one thing we talked about in the pregame is the defense of Foothill. Kevin, we talked about it with some of the coaches start the game, Coach Maple specifically, and you saw right there they're able to get the ball back. Can they continually get that consistent drive going? They can put some points on the board. That's been their Achilles heel all year.
Our captain, Brian Adams, 12th season in high school football. Hard count, and they get him. Nice job out there by Linares to get everybody to jump from Highland. They'll start off with a 1st and 5, and it goes across midfield.
So 3 and out for the Scotsman. You take a look at this possession game and who moved the ball, this early chess match so far. Foothill has moved more chess pieces.
A lot of bloodline football of both of these high schools, and look forward to kind of getting in and out as the game goes. Hand off to the right side. This one's going to be Denzel Givens. Givens picks up a 1st down. So as you say, looking at the early chess match, the Foothill offense starting to make things happen.
Denzel Givens is a guy that you'll hear his name called quite a bit tonight. He's their big play guy. They like giving him the ball on this wing, and he's a classic wing T run. Nice job of cutting the ball upfield. Gets a nice kick out block, picking up the 1st down.
1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Once again, welcome everybody, our Halloween edition, our last game in October on High School Football Game of the Week. I'm Vance Palm, of course, joined up top with Kevin Keys, and down on the grass, our captain, Brian Adams. Last football game in October. Next week, the first Friday night in November. We'll get into it. A massive game taking place next week. 1st and 10 right now. Foothill moving pretty swiftly down the field. Rangel Hands the ball off to his steady runner right now, Leos, but Leos, fumble, they say, fumble. Highland football, they pick up the fumble.
Well, that's a good job of hitting and stripping for Michael France here. Take a look and see where this ball comes out. That's a good job by the offensive lineman. Looked like.
Oh, boy. Our cameraman showing us that he was down already, but what are you going to do? Too close of a call to the naked eye and the official, just too close to call. We see the pink socks, of course, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the pink towels and all of the pink that's being worn tonight. It's senior night, by the way, at Highland High School, so the senior football players and senior cheerleaders being honored this evening with their parents, uncles, aunts, loved ones greeting them at center field. Under 5 minutes left here in this fumble! Oh, man, he picked it back up. Zach Pasqua just coughed up the loaf of bread.
Pasqua never really got a handoff here. Is one of those low exchanges there. Just never had the ball, but does a great job of falling on it here, not trying to pick it up and do too much with it, giving them
got a 1 yard gain, 2nd and 9. Prasser, the QB. Sends Roy in motion. Hands the ball right up the middle. Chavez gets maybe 3 or 4 yards. Bring up 3rd and long. Last week we called week 7 an historic game, the dedication of Ray Permenter Field and 71st homecoming at East High School. Records were smashed last week. Garces ends up winning by a bundle and running up major yards by Jalen Sykes. Joe Pearson, the quarterback from East High School, also had a big night. What a game that was last week. A long one at that. 3rd and 6. Prasser looks, he's in trouble, running to his left. He's on the run. Prasser throws one out here. Look at this. This might work. Ooh, boy. Well, Brian Prasser's a passer. He's on the run, but this Foothill defense all over him.
This Foothill defense has been excellent so far in these first 2 series. I like the discipline they have against the running game. They're in their positions, ready for the ball to come. Doesn't matter if it's going to be the counter or the back going through on the motion. And coverage-wise, they were perfect coverage to defend it with the pressure. So great, chalk up another win for the Foothill defense. Again, can they put some offense up?
Let's find out. Omar Urea back standing at the 20-yard line. Perfect snap. Look at this. That's going to be tough. He bobbles it. He drops it. He's on the 5-yard line. Urea in trouble. Fumble! Oh, boy. Woo-hoo-hoo. That was one dangerous few seconds down there for the speedy Omar Urea.
Well, we talked about Oglesby's ability to punt the football. He didn't get a lot of height on this ball, therefore it was returnable, but he did get some distance on it, about a 45, 50-yard punt. And the Scotsman doing an excellent job. The backup quarterback, Jamie Salazar, down there to help on the stop.
Did the stripped him. Nice job, Jamie. Stick your hand in there and got that football out. 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. 1st and 10 Foothill. They're deep in their own territory, 9-yard line. Rangel, the QB, takes a look. They've not gone to the air. Hands the ball off to Jason Martin. Martin, 5'8", 165-pound senior.
In on the tackle, number 33, Jimmy Gonzalez. Also on the tackle, number 60.
It's a nice camera angle there on our ground camera.
We don't have a number. Big number 60 is not in the program tonight for the Scotsman.
I was known by Jono. He came from Garces.
Hand off to Leos. Leos hit hard and thrown down at the line of scrimmage, so nothing going on there. Maybe an inch. Maybe he got an inch. Hello, sweetie. So a lot of costumes as we came in. We are Tyler Jono is number 60 there for you, Kevin. Tyler Jono.
Tyler
big
Jono,
fellow.
that's a Garza's name, isn't it?
He was at Garces, transferred over recently.
Wow.
For the Trojans.
There's big Tyler Jono, big guy.
I wonder where he was last week. We didn't call his name a little at the Garces East game. Okay.
3rd and long, and Foothill.
Hands off to number 1, Jason Martin.
And again, a first down picked up by Jason Martin. Well, the Trojans are able to pick up first downs, Kevin, right now. And hey, that might be just what the doctor ordered, just to keep this thing going.
Well, and their ability to move the football via the run is definitely going to set up some big plays for them. And pretty soon, like we talked about, quarterback, young sophomore Rangel, who has a pretty accurate arm.
1st and 10. Rangel has yet to put it in the air. He has Martin behind him as well as Givens. They go to Martin. Martin gets maybe a yard. Bring up 2nd and 9. I'd like to thank Premier Equipment Rentals and Audiovisual Plus, our Lone 2 sponsors, who have enjoyed all of the exposure, the visibility, the name recognition of being involved with the #1 on-demand program on all of Bright House Network's high school football. Thank you to Premier Equipment Rentals and Audiovisual Plus. We appreciate you jumping on board with us this year and making us a great season. Second and 9. Nothing going there, so not the creativity that might call for some big plays, but they're consistent.
Well, you've got to be consistent. You got to keep setting these plays up because eventually they set up the big play for you. What they're doing is they're controlling the football game by managing the clock. We talked about this game being a defensive struggle in the pregame show. You're seeing it.
Should be last play of the first quarter. It's going to be snapped with under 10 seconds. So, you know, this is what it's all about as far as clock. And they go to the air. Just as soon as we say it, they go to the air. Oh, what a nice defensive effort out there. And will it be the last play of the quarter? Nope. 1 second left.
Well, that's a great play by Jordan Toon there. 6 foot, 175-pound senior safety.
Well, Kevin, if he doesn't make the play, it's touchdown.
Yeah, Jackson had him beat by a step or two. Ball just slightly underthrown, but pretty good job recovering by Toon.
Toon looks like he plays tunes. He got the long hair.
Got that throwback 70s look.
Or a 2009 Notre Dame wide receiver look. 4th down, they'll have to punt it up, Foothill. Standing at their own 45-yard line is the Highland Scots. A booming high punt, and this is going to be taken. Wow, what an interesting call there, or no call. And the only contact was made by the blocker and the defenseman, so really no penalty as far as hitting the receiver. That does it for the first quarter. You're watching high school football game of the week. 0-0 the score between Highland High School and Foothill. Back in a moment with the second quarter.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
We know home is where the heart is. That's why Bright House Networks works to make your home more enjoyable every day. Watch whatever you want on your time and find that perfect present. Share those special conversations. In a Bright House, it's all about delivering what your heart desires in the comfort of home.
Bright House Networks presents the Bright House Networks High School Football Game of the Week.
Welcome back to the second quarter. Just as we started the second quarter, look at this. Fumble recovered by Foothill High School. Dylan Hutton with the big fumble recovery. So just like that, as we come back into the second quarter, a big turnover for the Highland High School Scots, and Rangel now has his Trojan offense on the Highland 39-yard line. Givens on the carry. Givens cuts back up the middle. Should be a touchdown. I don't know who's going to catch him. 6 points, Foothill. Oh, boy, Kevin.
Well, the Trojans are +1 in the turnover category. When you have a game, a defensive battle like that, it ends up field position and turnovers, special teams and turnovers. So +1 Foothill, they're up 1.
Woo!
This is a great run by Givens. A nice job of cutting back, finding the open seam. Nobody between him and the end zone. Touchdown, Denzel Givens.
An official's timeout for the PAT. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but they call a timeout. Oh, we have a player down. A player down on the goal line for Foothill, and it's the big fella, Brian Martinez, 6', 220. And he is shook up, so we're going to see Eric Chavez going for him. I think. Oh, I'm hearing in my ear he might have been a bit too exuberant on the celebration. Well, Brian, you're field level for that. Nice piece of running to get that 6 points.
Martinez, just give him a hand.
Oh, yeah, it was, Vance. And, Kevin, I think last week you said the theme was 21. Deuces are wild again as you got another 21 rolling down the middle of the field. And it looks like he has the speed just like Sykes last week. Once they get in that secondary, there's nobody's going to catch him.
Nobody. That was just wide open, and there was just no chance for Carter to catch Givens. Here's the PAT, the hold, the snap. Everything looks good. Wow, he kicks it over the track.
Wow, he almost hit the booster section there.
He did hit him.
Edgar Linares, remember him as we were testing our equipment in the preseason at the scrimmage at Foothill High School. We were watching Foothill and Stockdale. He kicked a 53-yarder in that scrimmage.
That's right. I remember that. Here's a look at the touchdown run again by Denzel Givens, senior running back, and beautiful vision. And once he hit that open area, it was over with. Our Audiovisual Plus instant replay, 7-0 Foothill, week number 8 of the high school football game of the week, exclusively on Bright House Networks. Next week, are you kidding me? November 6th, everybody. You have gone online and voted at mybrighthouse.com and voted for the game of possibly the season, possibly the game of the year, Kevin. The undefeated Frontier Titans, well, they're undefeated now as we call this game, at Stockdale. What a football game.
Yeah, that should be a good one. Should be a real good one.
We're just underway in the second quarter, and we started the second quarter off with Highland fumbling the football, picked up by the Trojans, and the first play from the line of scrimmage of that series, touchdown, Foothill, 7-0. What's that? Into the end zone.
Scotsmen have got to find a way to get the ball into their playmakers' hands. They're not having a whole lot of success running the football against this Trojan defense. They got to look to find Ruben Guerrero, their talented wide receiver. As he gets in man coverage, I think that's probably the weakness for the Scotsmen. They just haven't been able to exploit it so far.
1st and 10 Highland. Let's see how they get going here. They're down a touchdown as we start the second quarter. Kevin talked about this Foothill defense. See if that's the story right now. If they put on a nice defensive stance here, Highland might have to be thinking things over. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Roy goes in motion. Handoff up the middle. Maybe a yard, maybe 2 yards. Pass of the quarterback, and he handed that off to Ford.
Delfino Pinato.
Excellent high school football season this year. Started off with the Hatchby at Garces, and the games just started unfolding after that. Got word that Cody Kessler possibly back in action next Friday night for Centennial. So one of the storylines is one of the top players in the city has been down for a few weeks. 2nd and 5. They go for the hard count. Nobody jumps. Option, they kick it out, throws it just a hair behind.
Number 11, Alan Roy.
But Roy
The ball carrier.
falls about 3 yards short.
Brought down by number 12.
That's a
Jacob
great
Flagg.
job by
Also
Jacob
tackle number
Flagg
20, Esteban
from his
Velez.
outside linebacker position. Does a good job of playing the pitch man here as he got help from Esteban Velez coming up from his defensive back position.
Remember Clegg?
Bloodline football.
Last year, great year as well. 3rd and 5.
Clegg comes from a pretty good football name from Foothill, Clegg family.
I'm about to say big 3rd down right here, Brian. Get ready. Well, Brian, it's a big 3rd down, 3rd and 5 for Highland.
Well, Vance, they definitely need to get this ball past that first down marker because they need to give that defense a chance to rest. But they need some positive things to go for their offense.
Interesting
Ooh.
play call
Ooh.
on 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6.
Well, it's 4th and 1, and Allie there kind of just shows the feelings of the high school of Highland right now, saying, wow.
I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest.
Look at this, Kevin. Look at this. 4th and 1 from the 29-yard line.
Well, you got big John Oglesby and Jaquan Ford in the backfield. Why not? I like Jaquan Ford following Oglesby.
Yeah, I was going to say, who will lead who here?
Well, Jaquan is back there. I don't see Oglesby in the backfield.
By himself. Well, for sure they'll go for the hard count. No, they don't. They snap right away, and that's a nice play right there. Ford picked up the first down. Not a second of hesitance.
Well, that's just good vision running by Jaquan Ford. That play was designed to go inside the A gap, but he had his eyes up and saw the edge open there. Does a good job just bouncing it outside, picking up the first down.
First
Nice
down,
job.
Highland.
Nice job.
First down, Highland.
Scots have some players up at Fresno State at the next level. Quote-unquote rebuilding year, maybe. A lot of talent on that football team. 1st and 10, Highland. Prosser. Sends him in motion and hands him to him. That's Carter, the speedy Carter. But wow, this great defense from Foothill. The just strung him out all the way to the sidelines. Great job, Foothill.
Great job by Omar Urea. Defensive back coming up and making sure that Carter doesn't turn the edge here. As you take a look at this AV Plus instant replay, Carter's got a lot of speed, as you mentioned, Vance, but Urea coming up from his DB position.
He's their punt returner, so you know he can run the football. He can get his feet going. 2nd and 9. Highland just not able to pick up any significant big chunks of yards against Foothill High School right now. Prosser looks, wants to go across the middle, overthrows his man, and almost picked off out there by Beckman.
Ruben Guerrero.
Prosser well overthrew.
Oh, he chose to throw the slant route here, whereas maybe that out route was a little more open. It's easy for us to call and second guess up here as we have a bird's eye view.
Well, they just haven't put the ball up much, you know. 3rd and 9 now, Kevin, what do you do?
I love that same play there, but that out guy, man, if he just ran a wheel route.
Roy in the slot could be an option. Prosser in trouble, gets thrown down at the 33-yard line, a loss of 3.
Also in the tackle, number 20.
So it's going to bring up another 4th down, so they will punt again, Ogilvy will.
Number 45 is not listed in our program. Number 44 is Maurice Martinez. I'm not sure if that's him or not, but good looking play there.
So Oglesby will punt again, and Urea will receive again at the 25-yard line. A lot of room. Another perfect snap. Oglesby puts it up. This will be returnable. At the 25, Urea looking for some room. Brought down at the 37-yard line. So nice coverage out there by Foothill, and they'll take over the 37-yard line. Well, Brian, field position, always an important part of any football game. Foothill's had great field position all night long.
Well, Vance, they've done a great job of controlling that part of the game. they're really doing a great job on defense, not going more than maybe 2 series. They're going in a turnover, they're going 3 and out. And they're giving their offense multiple opportunities. As the offense continues to take advantage like they did last series, they can put this Highland team in a bit of pressure.
Wrangle on a 1st and 10. Denzel Givens stares at him, wants to know what he's going to do. Hands the ball off this time to Leos. Leos met at the line of scrimmage. Kevin, you said it. 1-0 in the turnover game, and that's the score, 7-0.
Well, they're getting some great line play by their defensive line, Tyler Jono, and also the linebackers for the Scotsman, Larry Solomon, John Oglesby.
2nd and 9. Wrangle hands off to Givens. Givens looks, waits, patiently stands behind his lineman and gets an 8-yard gain. That'll bring up a 3rd and 1. Nice job.
Outstanding job by Givens cutting this ball back against the grain. When you run that wing tee and you're running lateral, when you have a cutback runner like Givens that you see here, he'll make guys miss.
Brings up 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, whatever you want to say, but it's right in the middle of the football field, so a lot of options out there for this 3rd down call.
Definitely 4-down territory here for the Trojans.
And he gets it. Hands off to Martin, and Martin at least picks up enough for a 1st down.
Well, Brian, I don't know what time you got to be home tonight, but a game like this, you can get home pretty early.
Well, I thought they were still playing from last week, Kevin. I saw 21 go. I said, oh, it's still the 4th quarter. If it rolls like this, guys, we might catch another game on our way home.
Sounds good. Stop by Garces. Check them out. Hosting West. What a nice football game that is tonight. The Rams and the Vikings, just a few miles away. Fumble!
Well, we're even. Looks like we're even in the turnover category. The Scotsmen say they have it, and they do.
1st and 10, Highland. If you notice, maybe the Freudian slip by my partner up here, we're even. That's because he's a Highland High alumnus. Kevin went to high school up here, and what a great campus, great atmosphere, always just a beautiful view of the city up here. Kevin, always known as a Scotsman, aren't you?
Well, you know, Scotsman for life. You got 30 years we'll be celebrating next year, 30-year reunion, but it's good to see lights on this field. They went for years without them, and just a great effort about 5 or 10 years ago to get these lights up.
They're midfield now, the Scotsmen, 1st and 10. They go right up the middle. Great defensive effort out there by Foothill, and their fullback forward gets nothing. Maybe lost a yard.
You're talking about a scrappy little defense, but I'm just really impressed with this defense of the Trojans. They man you up. They bring everybody. They really trust these defensive backs that they have. They play man coverage out there at corner, and they just bring the house. Let their strong safeties run the alleys. Man, you gotta love that if you're defense.
Curtis Fainer, that big hit. 2nd and 9. Prosser going for a long, long wait. No, this is not Prosser. New QB in there. That's Jaime Salazar. He lobs it up there. That looks good. Touchdown, Highland. Salazar with a 6-point, 50-yard pass.
There's your wheel, Kevin.
There's that wheel route we were talking about. That's a great route by Alan Roy. It's good to see him back healthy. He was the catalyst for this team. The last couple years had a very slow year starting out, but that's what Jamie Salazar has given this team all year. That's why he's getting a lot of snaps for the Scotsman. He's been their spark plug coming in and trading time with Prosser, and you can see why they're splitting time.
What a beautiful pass from Salazar to Roy. And the PAT attempt to tie this up. The snap, the hold, the kick, it's up and it's good. We're tied up at 7. Touchdown, Highland.
Jared Aguilar is an outstanding kicker for the Scotsman. Good tradition here that Randy Martin has had for the Scotsman in their kicking game. His son, Zach, is now up at Modesto Junior College. So touchdown, Highland High School,
Salazar to Roy. We're tied up at 7. Talked to the athletic director for Foothill High School tonight, Kevin Platt, talking about his female golf team, the ladies golf team, highest finished ever, 4th, so they're starting to move ahead. Big Joe Turner's about ready to start his basketball season at Foothill High School. Also talked about their soccer team, men's and women's soccer team, always a power here in Kern County. So nice hello to Kevin Platt and his Foothill High School athletic department. Head coach Mike Gregg for Foothill, his assistants Julio Franco, Steve Montano, Randy Maples, Eddie Jackson, Principal Brenda Lewis, of course, and for Highland, head coach Tim Hartnett, assistant Steve Matney, Kenny Haslip, Jason Barnes, John Arvizu, Mark Sandel, and Randy Martin.
Kenny Haslip, the former USC Trojan defensive back.
Wow. Wow. Never at a loss to find former players that come back and get involved in the system here. It's going to be Gibbons. Takes it at the 3-yard line, looking for the wedge. And gets the ball up to about the 21-yard line. Nice job by special teams on both sides of the football.
Yeah, that's a good open field tackle there by Jamie Salazar, getting it done on both sides of the ball for the Scotsman.
1st and 10 Foothill. Let's see what they do, see if they can answer back. We're tied up at 7. Week 8 high school football game of the week. We're up on the northeast side at Highland High School. You know, East High gives us a great view, but Highland gives us a higher view.
It's
wow.
a great view up here, man. I remember as a little kid coming out here, riding my motorcycle, not a single house out here, just a school.
Gibbons looking out, look at this. What a nice bit of running. He's got some open room. Ooh, if he's not shoved out at the 41, 42-yard line, it was going to be a foot race to the end zone. Gibbons impressive.
A lot of speed does Denzel Gibbons have. Take a look at the AV instant replay. Does a good job of just finding the edge here and at speed enough to turn it upfield, pick up big gain for the Scotsmen.
1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line, Foothill. But very promising in offense. They've had to punt the football a few series, but they've had some plays that have gone for some significant yardage.
Oh yeah, they're moving the football.
Leo's in trouble. He gets brought down at the line of scrimmage. It's a nice football game right here. Good football game.
It gives you that feel of the classic little boxing match where, you know, both teams are just standing toe-to-toe with each other, just kind of a heavyweight bout.
A lot of great music tonight, Kevin, on both sides of the football field. The Highland High Band at home and then the traveling band of the Foothill Trojans. But it's some nice music. 2nd and 9 next week. The showdown at Stockdale High School, Frontier at Stockdale. Can't wait. Rangel wants to put the ball in the air. Ooh, what a nice pass. Maybe nicked, thrown just a hair behind Clegg. I think Clagg's thinking, hey, or trying to motion to everybody that the ball got hit.
Or you got to wonder if someone ran the wrong route. You got 2 guys in the same position there. That's never good when you have 2 receivers in the same, within two yards of each other. That's somebody, you got to figure someone ran a wrong route there. But not a bad ball thrown by Rango.
3rd and 9. One of the few clock stoppages we've had in the first half, and we're at 3:39. Rango hands off to Gibbons. Gibbons waiting and patiently gets it up to about the 45-yard line, but it looks like Foothill's going to have to punt this football.
Down by number 33, Jimmy Gonzalez.
Ronnie Owens. 4th down. A proud family member of Dwayne Izzetti. Gibbons is patient, you know, he just waits, just stands behind his linemen or his blockers.
Oh, that's the classic wing tee, patient running back. Doesn't do you any good to get out there too quick. Love it.
Foothill will punt.
Still enough time for the Scotsmen to see if they can get another score here.
Stoppage of play, we have a timeout and it's going to be taken by Foothill. For those of you that might be tuning in for the first time, I'm Vance Palm, Arvin High School grad, Kevin Keys, Highland High School grad, and down on the grass, our captain, Brian Adams, a BHS grad, but also a 4-year player for the UCLA Bruins. Brian, did I jinx the Bruins a few weeks ago by just saying that they were going to, beat Tennessee? Or I don't know, maybe I jinxed those guys. They're struggling, B. What's up with the UCLA Bruins?
Well, Vance, they just can't get a rhythm to their offense. Right now, but if you're a kicker, that's where you want to go. You can become All-American. You're getting about 5 field goal attempts a game. But no, in all seriousness, right now, their offense is just struggling. Defense, they're playing well, but they play so much on defense that they end up giving up points in the end of the game. Just like last week, I thought they had a chance to beat Arizona. We talked about last week on the air, and they weren't able to score any points. The defense scored a touchdown, and then the kicker kicked the rest of the points. So they're just really struggling on offense. And in the Pac-10, if you can't put up 24 points plus, you're going to struggle.
Thank you, Cap. Inside look at the UCLA Bruins every Friday night with our main man, Brian Adams. Look at this punt. We talk a lot about Oglesby, but the Foothill punter as well putting him up there. And Carter looks to get free and goes down about the 24-yard line.
About a 50-yard punt by Linares. He's averaging 40 on the season, but he gets off a booming punt there. We've seen his leg as a field goal kicker, but now we're seeing it as a punter.
He backed Carter up to the 5-yard line.
Carter does a good job of picking up some positive yards on that punt return. 2.5 minutes to go until halftime. The Scotsman looking to put some more points on the board, maybe get in field range for their talented kicker, Jared Aguilar.
1st and 10, Highland. Foothill defense saying, wait a minute, Mr. Keys. We might have something to say about that. Split way right, Christian Martinez. He is 5 or 6 yards from the sidelines. Roy goes in motion. And they go right up the middle. Nothing happening there.
Got to be impressed with the talent. Ronnie Owens is number 45. He's not listed in our program, but thanks to Brian Adams for finding out who he was. He's been around the football all night.
2nd and 9. We mentioned it once or twice already, but compared to last week's marathon game, a 52-minute third quarter, we're almost at halftime here.
Good to see some defense.
You're right.
Mike Gregg, the defensive coordinator for the Trojans.
They go to the right side. Salazar ducking defensive players. Looks like he'll pick up the first down and more. Speeds by his blocker and gets up to the 48-yard line. What a nice piece of running.
Salazar has given the Scotsman team a lift, both in the passing game and running the ball as a quarterback. Great job of not finding anybody open. Saw a running lane, and this is what he can do as an athlete. He can beat you with his feet. Jamie Salazar getting close to the range of Jared Aguilar.
Ran past his blocker. He's so fast. 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line. Now he wants to throw. Here comes a defensive pressure from Foothill.
Oh, he's got a man on the wheel. He's got a man wide open.
Oh, I don't think he caught it. He dropped it. Should have been caught, but it was not.
Oh my.
Jonathan Carter, incomplete.
That's a great job of spotting the open receiver. Looked like Jonathan Carter.
Carter was on his knees waiting for it and just slipped out of his hands. Couldn't get it done.
That's a great throw on the run. That ball should have been caught. Great job by Jamie Salazar.
You said it, the spark plug. The spark plug with the pink hand towel comes back in. Breast Cancer Awareness Month and Highland paying tribute.
Love the job that Links for Life is doing to help create awareness for breast cancer. Great job that Jennifer Henry and that organization is doing.
2nd and 10. Look out. Salazar hit hard. And I mean, he is pounded to the ground. The main hit was put on out there by Jesus Bueno.
Muy bueno.
Wow. Watch this hit, Kern County. A big hit. Ball right at the end. Bueno. And a nice tight spiral, but overthrows his receiver. He took a hard hit, Kevin. Brings him 3rd and 10.
Toughness of he just bounced right back up, kind of shaking the cobwebs off. Goes over the sidelines, gets play. Give me another play, coach. Let's get this thing going. Minute and a half to go until halftime. Still need about 10, 15 yards to be in the range of Jared Aguilar.
Ruben Guerrero split as far right as you can get. They went for the hard count, didn't get anything. Smart idea. Move it up 5 if you can get it. Salazar. Looks like a screenplay the way it's broken up. Now Salazar launches one up. This is going to be up for grabs. Who's going to get it? And nice job, but I think they're going to call it on Highland High School. I think it's going to be on Guerrero, Kevin.
Well, that's a good job by
Jason Martin.
That's a good job by the Highland receiver there. He turned it into a defensive back. This ball would have been intercepted by the Trojan defensive back had he not come back and broke this thing up, and that's a good play.
I think that basically the football was already in the hands. Brian, you're right on the grass. You saw it maybe 18, 20 feet away. What'd you see?
Well, Vance, what the referee were calling is that the cornerback, he went to the cornerback first and then hit the safety. But I'm with you, Kevin. I don't care if he gets a PI or not. That's tough, taking away interception.
Yeah, and that would have been about $1.16 left for Foothill, but instead Highland will punt. It looks like they may have called a timeout here. Did they? Or are they just having a huddle here? Nope, they did call a timeout. Timeout for Highland High School Scots. So go to the website, everybody. That's where we find out where we're going every week. And this week, a phenomenal landslide. I think everybody in Kern County that went on the computer at mybrighthouse.com figured out, hey, there was one game that everybody wants to see, and it's the Frontier Titans over at Stockdale for the Mustangs. Brian, that ought to be a football game that even the average football fan is going to enjoy watching.
Oh, yeah. I think we're in for a barn burn next week. I think they were almost going to get the ball to Foothill just a second ago, and now they're saying it's going to be 4th down.
Well, that's a game that everybody's looking forward to, Vance. It's a game to see who's going to be in the lead for the SWYL. 2 undefeated teams in league play, 2 teams that are ranked. Frontier, one of the top teams in Division II, the Central Section, they win that game next week, and you can look to them possibly getting the #1 seed. But they still have Centennial the following week. But that's a big game for Frontier. It's bigger for Frontier than it is for Stockdale.
I agree. Kevin. And whatever the outcome, I expect absolutely packed stands on both sides of the football field.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see just how good this Frontier team really is.
Right.
And if they are for real, because that Stockdale team is for real.
Man, looking forward to it. Can't wait. And then after that, the remaining games of the regular season, it will look to be just powerful matchups every single Friday as we get into playoff football.
You know, guys, one thing is looked like we haven't seen Stockdale, but it seems since that BHS game, they just continue to get better each week, and that's what you want as a coach. You want that team to be evolving as the season goes.
4th and 20. Highland's going to have to punt it. Another perfect snap. Oglesby puts it up, and
there it is.
Boomer. Taken by Urea and brought down out there. What a great play for the Highland High School Scots.
48-yard, almost a 50-yard punt by Oglesby. We talked about the comparison between Matt Darr and John Oglesby. 14 punts going into this game for John Oglesby for 657 yards, a 46.9 average. Matt Darr going into this week had 15 punts for 692 yards, a 46.1 yard average. Both of them had punts over 70 yards as for long. Matt Darr's already signed with SC.
Oh, nice pass out there. Goes through Gibbons' hands, and you look at both of those punter slash linebacker slash whatever you call them, specimens, big guys.
Well, that brings me to the next point of stats for both of them. You take a look at what they do, and my point is both of them make a strong case for Defensive Players of the Year based on their play at the linebacker position. You talk about Oglesby at the linebacker position, 88 tackles on the year. Matt Darr has somewhere around the high 50s, but both of them are catalysts for their teams on the defensive side of the ball.
Dar for Frontier, Oglesby tonight for Highland. Number 45, inside reverse, and they hand it off to Givens. Givens with one big move right there. Can he get free? And nice job by Roy to catch him. Nice bit of running. Very nice running back.
Alan Roy is one of those kids that has track speed, and thank goodness for the Scotsman that he does, because Givens was just a step or two away from taking that thing all the way to the house.
Nice move he put on just to get free, to get out there in the open. Under a minute left here in the first half. 1st and 10, Foothill. Nice football game. If you're just getting to your television, you're watching this on Bright House Networks. Pleasure to have you with us. I'm Vance Palm, joined by my partner up top, Kevin Keys, and down on the grass, our veteran and our captain, Brian Adams. Pleasure to have you watching us. Wrangle, look out. He got rid of it quickly. Nice pass, and
couldn't hang on to it.
Oh, incomplete. Givens let it go down. Ooh, Wrangle was feeling the heat. Watch this in your shoddy.
Uh-oh.
Man, oh man, that's a fumble.
Well, it looks like he made an athletic move after the ball was in his hands, but they're saying that he never had control of it. We've got the advantage of instant replay, so our officials do not. Not that it matters.
Givens swallowed up and thrown for a 5-yard loss. Excellent job by the Highland defense. And it looks as though it's going to be a timeout called by Foothill High School.
Ryan Black doing an outstanding job from his linebacker position. Ryan Black listed 5'7", 180. Not the biggest linebacker out on the field, but nonetheless a very solid tackler. Take a look at the AV instant replay. Black doing a good job of sealing the edge there from his outside backer position.
Well, we've called a couple of Centennial games, a couple of Frontier games. We covered BHS, covered East Garces twice, Tehachapi, Foothill,
Liberty.
And now Highland High School as well. Covered a lot of games already. We still have a lot more to go. Anything that stands out so far in this 09 season, Kevin, is wow. Remember that?
Wow. Remember that. You know, the breakout games of Jalen Sykes, obviously last week, that was a wow moment for me. The coming out of Deshante Weber over at Foothill.
Exactly.
Really impressed with that young man. The law firm of Olafson and
wow.
And what's his partner up there?
At Tehachapi. That was another incredible first week game, and they go to the air. Wrangle does, the intended receiver out there, Joshua Jackson. It's been a very good football year so far. Brian, your thoughts so far into Week 8 with some of the performances we've seen?
Well, I'll tell you the team that's impressed me the most so far is Liberty, the turnaround. We saw them the 1 week against Centennial. They didn't seem to have much going on. They would run the spread offense. They changed, went to a more power offense with the running game, and they haven't looked back since. In terms of watching Matt Dar kick the ball, you talk about a kick going to SC. What's impressive with this kick isn't so much, we talk about the distance, as how long that ball hangs on the air. I mean, a couple times he got 5 seconds on hang time. So that was been huge. And once again, I think we've seen a great array of talent around the area. And I continue to look forward as we go into playoffs and seeing some of the teams in Fresno as well.
Thank you, fellas. Taking it to 25-yard line, opportunity to get behind the wall.
That's going to be a flag.
No, they don't call it. They let it go. They let it go. And some hard hitting out there at the 44-yard line. I thought it might be a call, the old horse collar grab, but no call. And look at this. Foothill's going to get the football. Highland's going to get the football at the 44-yard line with 23 left.
Well, he had almost had that wedge set up there.
Wow, that was close to being a penalty as well at the very end of that helmet-on-helmet late hit. Well, you need to see some well-executed routes here to get them in field goal position in under half a minute. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to see it.
Hey, watch 21. Watch 21.
Roy trying to get to the outside. Look at this, everybody. What a great play. Roy trying to get to the end zone. Hey.
Well, looks like they're in field goal range now for Jared Aguilar. They may be able to sneak in 3 before halftime.
Ho, ho, ho.
Take a look at this on the AV Instant Replay. Gets a great kick-out block there by number 53 for the Scotsman.
You talked about his speed, Kevin. There
Marcos
it is.
Dominguez, but look at the speed of Alan Roy. Alan Roy showing the spark that he showed the last 2 years.
So Roy switches, puts the ball in his left hand. Smart, agile player as well. Look at this right here. Watch the end of this play right here, Kevin. Roy gets thrown out of bounds. Watch this right here. He takes a hit from Jason Martin. Goes, there you go, Jason. There's a football for you.
Well, he's lucky to get away with that one.
Wow.
Rock star.
Talk about rock stars. Talk about rock stars.
Is that Jeff Adams? No.
Was that Jeff Adams? No, it's Kevin Woolley.
Kevin Woolley?
Let me tell you about Kevin Woolley and I. Put the camera back on him, Zach. By the way, our director is Zach LaFlores. Kevin Woolley and I went on a tankful on Sunday morning. And without, calling out favorites, that was amongst one of my all-time favorite on a tankfuls. I've done about 30 of them, and that was an absolute treat. Get on Channel 300 Bakersfield On Demand. We went to Honolulu Hills out in Taft. BMX, a motocross track. Kevin, we show up, we get out there 8 o'clock in the morning. At 8:45, I'm standing up there and watching a 5- and 6-year-old boy jump BMX motorcycles. They were younger than those guys, jumping 50-foot tables. I was almost lost my heart in my throat. Here we go. 13 seconds. Salazar. Gets hit in the arm. He was hit in the arm. They were going to the end zone to Roy, but incomplete pass.
Well, 9 seconds to go, and they've got no timeouts left.
Well, they opt not to go for the field goal, or do they?
Oh, you've got to. How many timeouts they got left? They got one or two timeouts. Okay, you might have time. They got to hurry up here.
I don't know.
Somebody's got to be calling timeout at the end of this play.
And he can't get sacked.
And you can't get, you can, but you got to call timeout real quick. Let's see if they can execute.
2nd and 10, 9 seconds. Uh-oh. Salazar's using all. Oh, a massive hit. Lays him out. And that's going to be the end of the half.
No, they're not going to get it.
They didn't get it. A crushing hit to Jacob Clagg. He was laid out at halftime. And watch this, everybody. This is how
John Oglesby is showing you why. Keep your head on a swivel, young man. Keep your head on a swivel.
So Jacob Clagg just gets hammered, drilled into the ground at the end of the first half. But guess what? Foothill keeps Highland from getting into the end zone or even getting a field goal attempt. We're tied up at 7. What a nice football game. Week 8, high school football game of the week, exclusively on Bright House Networks. Back in a moment with the third quarter.
Here's how it feels to have TV that's interactive from Bright House Networks. It's like getting into a time machine, controlling where you go and when. Because interactive TV is the only way to travel back in time and start over a show already playing. Choose programs that you start on demand. Even set your DVR to look ahead in time and record future episodes. Take off to a whole new world of entertainment with TV that's interactive from Bright House Networks.
Mondays. No two are quite the same, yet all seem to have one thing in common. They're depressing, but it's not all totally brutal. Escape from Monday with Monday Night Football on ESPN. The glorious reward to your day.
ESPN, serving football fans everywhere.
Welcome back, everybody. What a nice halftime it was up here at Scotland Yard. The Highland High School Scotsmen 7, Trojans 7. I'm Vance Palm, joined by Kevin Keys. Down on the grass, Brian Adams. What a great halftime. Ran into a lot of friends and acquaintances. Saw my main man, Ty. Played basketball with Cal State, with him at Cal State. Now he's in the coaching ranks. Brian Adams, give us a word on what Ty is up to.
Well, my man Tyrone, last year his son Christian was playing for Bakersfield Christian. He's over at Humboldt State. We're talking about that. But he's also the women's basketball coach at Taft, so he's been recruiting people around there and getting them out to Taft and trying to build a program.
Thank you, sir. Nice to see Ty. What a great coach Ty is, and great point guard, great shooting guard at Cal State. Son's a lumberjack. Well, we're all netted up at 7, Kevin.
Salazar has come out at the starting job for the Scotsman at quarterback. Did a good job of moving the ball, giving them some spark. The only score was set up by Salazar. The nice pass and catch to Alan Roy in the first half.
2nd and 11. Fumble! Wow, bounced right off the face mask, and they go with a reverse. It's just bad news for Highland right now. And Coach Harnett is just livid. Not a happy camper whatsoever.
Yeah, that went from bad to worse there as the quarterback was not expecting the snap there and bounced into the hands of Jaquan Ford there. And Jaquan should have just ate the ball there, but he hands it off to Roy, said, I don't want it, you take it, and resulted into a bigger loss for the Scotsman with a nice job defensively there by Estevan Velez.
Now it's 3rd and 20. Nice chilly nip in the air now as we get in the third quarter. Kevin dons the nice black jacket. I've got the beanie on. It's dipped about 8-9 degrees, I would guess. Woo! Look at this. Salazar thrown for a sack.
That's Velez's second tackle for a loss there.
So Estevan Velez with another big play, and that brings up 4th and forever. And Highland with an abysmal first series here in the second half.
What's up with the beanie?
Cold ears, my man, cold ears.
You call it Scotland Yard here. Those of us who understand the tradition of Highland,
right?
This is Les Burkhardt Field.
Wow.
It's
give us the
it
word.
Will always be Les Burkhardt Field. It was named after a young man who lost his life tragically, and this will always be Les Burkhardt Field for us. Those who know the history.
Appreciate hearing from. Oh, a high snap. Oglesby able to catch it, and short punt, and they're going to let that just bounce as we stand up on top of the announcer's booth and look across. Decent crowd in the stands. Highland has done a fine job of putting up the letter Scotland Yard, as we see in our shot right there, but thank goodness we have an alumnus here to give us the word. Well, Kevin, look at that. Highland that was just not the way to start the second half.
No.
They receive, they maybe try to start the momentum here, and no dice.
Well, the Trojans, they went into halftime in that first half with some outstanding defense. They stopped the Scotsman, who should be up 10-7.
Hard count by Rangel, and they start off.
That's just a smart call by the young sophomore quarterback. Moving the ball without running a play there.
Defense is fired up. They want to stamp their name on this series, and pow, it gets them.
It's a defensive game.
Sure.
Smart move. That's like a pitcher. You got a fast runner on first base, and you vary your looks over to first base so he doesn't get a good jump on you. Same thing as a quarterback.
Rangel, kind of a funky snap. Doesn't matter. Touchdown Trojans. Wow. Fernando Leos, who's done a lot of the heavy carrying here in the first half, now finally gets a chance to sprint out there in the open field and gets a touchdown.
Well, Leos did a good job of finding that open seam there. I think Highland had everybody coming. And look at the guys up front. Big number 50, Eric Chavez, 5'10", 230. just blew the defensive guy off the line of scrimmage, and Fernando Leos does the rest.
Leos did a lot of heavy lifting in that first half, a lot of first and second down carries. The snap, the hold, the kick. Let's see if this clears the fence, and it does again. So some great kicking tonight.
Yeah, Linares is a big league guy. If he stays this pace as a kicker, he's a guy that you could see kicking on Saturdays one day.
This seems to be the year, correct me if I'm wrong, for kickers and punters. And we always have a pretty decent stock of them, but this year, really, Kevin, seems to be a lot of them.
Brian, you having some flashbacks down there with that fight song going?
Well, unlike this group of Bruins this year, we didn't have those kind of problems with the Trojans. I got some hardware if the people want to see it, but no. Good times, though, when you hear that song, Kevin. That means the big game was on, and fortunately, we had a chance to play for a couple of Rose Bowls against them. But a great rivalry, and one day they might catch up with national championships overall. One day.
Thank you, Brian, for that comment on the Bruins and Trojans. And just got a report in that John Oglesby rolled his ankle there at the end of the half on that big hit that he made, and may not.
Unbelievable. He delivers the punishing blow on Clag. Oglesby out.
I saw him riding the cart in. I thought, man, no, he's not tired. Well, that explains why that big run happened up the middle. John Oglesby.
Right. Well, now it's going to be Highland on their own 20. Another booming kick by Foothill. Welcome back to the second half. Foothill scored on their first possession of the second half, and it's 14-7. Highland's going to have to dig in here at home. Vance Palm, have Kevin Keys up here with me. Brian Adams down on the field.
Vance, you talked about last week being at Ray Perimeter Field. As you see this young man doing a little jerking out there. He's getting ready to call somebody out. Oh. Not bad. Looks like a MTV special there.
I want to hear your thought on Perimeter Field after this play. 1st and 10, Highland. They go inside. Trouble again. Just great defense by Foothill and great patience by Esteban Vilez. Another great play. Your thoughts on Perimeter?
Well, the story that came from Ned Perimeter shedding the light on his late cousin Ray Perimeter, who was shot down in World War II. But that article that Stephen Mayer did in the Bakersfield, California, really called for some tremendous response, not just locally, but around the United States. Ned said his phone has been ringing off the hook. People that read that story. And how about Larry Chagru, who's reading the story? He turns the page and sees a picture of himself as that young sailor that was in the picture with Ray, and that's unreal.
Well, I read that and was, let's look at this play here because they're in trouble. They're going to toss it out of bounds. I read that story, thought about you and Brian, thought about calling that game and all of the thoughts we had about that field and that great ceremony, and then it just tied right in with the California. Very special stuff.
Well, and for Ned to take this on, to shed some light on not just his cousin Ray, but the men who served this country and the sacrifices that they made back there. Imagine, this is the last home game for Highland High School. Imagine these seniors playing in their last game, and then 3 or 4 months from now going off to war, flying in about 15 or 20 missions before you turn 20 years old.
V-War.
Yeah.
3rd and 16. Everybody split out to the right side.
Uh-oh.
Prasser throws it up, and it's caught. But it's going to be short of the first down.
Well, that's a great job by Prasser, just giving his team some extra room, some punting room here. And they're going to be without the services of John Oglesby. But take a look at the AV instant replay there. A nice job by number 21, Ruben Guerrero, to make the catch there.
You see that big young fella they just had in the shot right there? Tony just had number 99 in the shot. I don't know if Tony will give that to us again, but
young Hughes, I talked to him at halftime. He's playing for the Golden Empire Titans. They play tomorrow at BHS. They play Tehachapi.
Oh, he gave you the word. This very large young man, right next to our cameraman Tony out in the crowd, number 99. He has his jersey on. 8th grader, one of the biggest 8th graders I've ever seen.
So France in to do the punting for the Scotsman.
And it bounces back to the 44-yard line. Foothill with a 7-point lead. That young man's dressed up at Halloween as a sleeper. Tomorrow night, any Halloween activities for yourself, sir?
I'll be passing out a few. I think I ate most of the candy.
Oh,
My wife
Kevin,
bought it too
Kevin,
soon.
Kevin. How about this?
Ate all the Reese's.
On a Tankful, Bakersfield On Demand, Channel 300. Next spring, Kevin and I will be doing a bicycle, a tandem bike wine tour through the Central Coast. That ought to be a top on-demand On a Tankful. 1st and 10, Foothill. They've got a tank full of gas right now. They're playing well, and it looks like Coach Hartnett just really not feeling good about things right now. On Coach Hartnett, Brian, you know him very well. You know him probably more intimately than most of our viewers out there. I can't imagine that he's feeling very good right now.
Well, Vance, it's been a struggle for him this season. One thing talked about Kevin and I before the game is the injuries. They just can't get around an injury bug. Seems like every game they've had, somebody's been out, and then it's no different tonight. They're full strength finally, and right before the end of the half, you have probably your best player, in my opinion, one of the best linebackers I've seen this season for sure, John Holby. He goes down, so he just can't seem to get the things going in the right direction, have those right breaks. Because both of you been in sports, you know, a lot of it when you're talking about winning is about getting the breaks. The ball has to bounce your way. You have to win some games you should have lost. And so he's just trying to push through. And one thing I know about Coach Hartnett, he's not a quitter. He's going to stay with the guys. He's going to be in the trenches with them. And he's going to work hard every day. So his example, he leads by example. So those kids are going to follow him, and you're going to see them compete to the end.
Well, that's right, Brian. Coach Hartnett has just been a guru for defenses and especially for linebackers in this county. As you take a look at John Oglesby on the training table, but Coach Hartnett has coached some awfully good linebackers over the years, and a lot of those linebackers have become coaches, and the tradition of tough linebackers in Kern County, as you take a look at Oglesby and his father.
His dad is a mountain of a man.
Former Highland football player himself, played up at BC.
But the tough injury right now for the Highland Scots, and another penalty on Highland. So after the timeout, they get another penalty called on them. So right now, things just not going well for the Scots. 1st and 5 for the Foothill Trojans. Quarterback Ryan Rangel's done a fine job. He hands the ball off. Nothing doing there, though.
Number 10, Tevin Hawkins.
And Hawkins can't get anywhere. That'll bring up 2nd and 4. As we mentioned, next week, Kevin, myself, and Brian will be at Stockdale High School for what we can safely say will be the biggest game of the season so far that we've called. Kevin painted the picture about postseason ramifications, but as much as the postseason ramifications, I think it's just a great game for both these schools to say, hey, what's up? Is it you or is it us? And football goes to Givens. Givens has had a nice evening. Oh, sorry, that was Leos. Leos with the carry. He gets up close to the line of scrimmage.
Leos brought down by number 2, Daryl Bolden. Also on the tackle,
Daryl Bolden in on the tackle. I haven't heard his name. We saw him last year get a few carries, and he had lightning speed. Haven't called his name on the offensive side.
For the Trojans.
Just getting a lot of work in on the defensive side, but 3rd and 1. It's a big 3rd down.
For Highland defense, huge 3rd down. Fumble! And it's going to be Highland football. Wow, they answer the call on that. Just a bad exchange and not executed well at all by Rangel and his running backs. And bingo, 1st down Highland and good field position.
Well, you +1 in the turnover here for the Scotsman. As you take a look at Jimmy Gonzalez, does a good job of falling on the ball here for the Scotsman. But a huge 3rd and 1 turnover for the Trojans. Let's see if the Scotsman can get something going.
1st and 10 on the Foothill 47-yard line. So a little bit of momentum. Well, we'll see if it's a momentum swing.
Speaking of momentum swings, Jamie Salazar, who gave them the momentum in the first half, he's in the ball game.
He's on the keeper to the left side, has a ton of real estate. One big move, and Kevin Keys, look at this. Salazar on a keeper, takes a big hit, delivers just a big a hit, and goes down at the 11-yard line.
Well, Jamie Salazar has been their spark plug all night, and he gets them going here like he did in the first half with a big run.
And talk about well executed. There it is, 2 good fakes. Second fake was just supreme. Look at this. One good move, and he's on the outside.
Great change of pace in the 2 quarterbacks. Matt Prosser, who's more of the passing quarterback, but Jamie Salazar, boy, he's getting it done for the Scotsman tonight.
1st and 10 from about the, 10.5-yard line. So look at a chance to get another first down if they need to. Still on his feet is Ford, and he probably picks up 3 or 4 yards, so they capitalize on a turnover. Kevin, who was your favorite instructors up here when you went to Highland?
S.C. Davis, English teacher, just retired last year from administrator at South High. She was a no-nonsense lady who was like mama.
Yeah.
When you came to school, she regulated, man. She made sure you were doing the right thing. Charles Anderson was another favorite teacher up there, but I got to say Ron Valeni was probably my all-time favorite.
2nd and 6. Fumble! I don't want to say trickeration. That's not the right call, but not the right description, but dangerous play.
Well, that's the one thing is when you run the option, that dive option, you get the ball on the ground a little bit.
Recovered by Highland. Ball is recovered by number 70, Ruben Cisneros.
Ruben Cisneros did a good job of following on the ball for the Scotsman to make sure that they keep things alive. 3rd and 7.
After all that long run, it's 3rd and 7 now. So it they haven't lost momentum, but a sharp contrast to a 1st and 10 with all of that heat behind you. 3rd and 7.
I like this matchup out here. Ruben Guerrero on the edge.
Salazar in trouble, stands in the pocket, releases, throws it, and it's incomplete.
Boy, he caught it, but just ran out of room, did Jonathan Carter.
It was 2 receivers within a foot of each other in the corner of the end zone. Talk about no real estate.
That's a really close play there. I don't know if we picked this up on the AV instant replay, but take a look at this. Well-thrown ball by Salazar, but watch this catch by Carter, and almost has a foot on the cone right there. Boy, that was close.
That was very close. What a catch. Your own receiver, your own teammate, and 2 other defenders in your face. What a catch. So now, Kevin, looking to make this a 14-10 ball game. Low snap, caught, put up, blocked.
And that is all. Uh-oh. That's a live ball. Hey! He's got the move.
This was not a PAT.
What? Watch young Denzel
Givens
come in. I don't know. Givens came in from his safety position playing linebacker, and he just ran his blocker all the way in. Look at that.
So Givens throws Guerrero or pushes Guerrero back into the kick. The kick was blocked by Guerrero's bum. And it wasn't a PAT. Some of the players stopped. But
blocked by his what?
His bum.
Bum.
It's a polite way to say rear end, Kevin.
All right.
He blocked it with his bum.
I guess we're in Scotland Yard, so you use Scottish terms, I guess, huh?
Scottish. Well, look at this.
Scotland Yard.
These letters are staring at me right across the, 8-foot letters all the way across the stands. It's Scotland Yard to a novice such as myself.
And they're going to re-kick this down. I don't know what the call was, Vance, but they're going to get another shot at it.
We're hearing from our sources that it was an inadvertent whistle an inadvertent whistle, so they get to re-kick this thing. Oh, man.
Well, Jared Aguilar is a pretty accurate kicker. Got a chance to see him in the pregame.
High snap, so they go low to high, and this one's a pitching wedge, and it
wide right.
No, doesn't go. So 2 attempts doesn't happen, and Foothill stunts a drive. It stays 14-7. Brian, while we have just a second, Brian, as we watch this replay, I know it's not your squad, neither one is your squad, but a big Pac-10 game tomorrow. Your thoughts on SC Oregon? I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I know you watch it.
Well, Vance, if you're a Pac-10 fan, you got to root for USC, because if they lose that game, you're not going to only have one team in the BCS. So therefore, you don't get that money coming in. And, you know, the Bruins, we need all the money we can get, because we're not bowling for a long time. But anyway, I think it's going to be a good game. Oregon has turned the corner since they've got the suspension. And we'll see what SC does on the road. You know, they didn't play great against Ohio State, but they got a win. And that's looking like it wasn't that great. Ohio State hasn't looked good. So it'll be interesting to see. I think Oregon poses a challenge to them. They have the athleticism to compete with them. But, you know, Pete Carroll is just good at what he does, and he gets those guys ready to play. So I think SC is the team I think you got to take in that game.
Appreciate that, Brian, as we see the graphic for Spanish On Demand, Bakersfield On Demand, Channel 300, and penalty on Highland High School at the end of that unsuccessful field goal attempt, and now Foothill will start at their own at their own 35-yard line. And
it was a huge personal foul penalty on the Scotsman. So instead of being on the 20, they're on the 35.
Fumble! Well, that was all made possible up front by Jimmy Gonzalez. Jimmy Gonzalez just crashed through that line and caused the fumble. Ooh, boy. Watch Jimmy Gonzalez, number 33 here, just crushes.
I've just been informed the deep pit sandwiches are now on sale for $4, and they still have those potatoes for $4.
What are you laughing at? You gonna go get some? Deep pit sandwich is still on sale. The guy just made the announcement. I'll cover for you. Go get us 2.
I was watching Coach Gonzalez up here when we came up here. He was calling the game from up top, eating a deep pit sandwich. He had a whole plate up here.
Still does. Try to snack some of that.
Not me. He's a rugby guy. Those guys attack me.
Well, the game's getting a little sloppy now. Penalties, fumbles, false start. You see the lineman on the right side of your screen there. Busts through. Second and 18. We're up at Highland High School. I'm not going to say Scotland Yard, but we are at Highland High School, where they're hosting the Foothill Trojans. Trojans up now by a touchdown. They've looked good tonight. Leos looking for some room. Leos follows his blockers. Nice job by Highland High School. Only gives up about 3 or 4 yards. Brings up third and about 14.
Thinking back some of the outstanding players that come out of here, there's one guy comes to mind that was a pretty good player in high school, went on to play in the junior college level, but now is known to be one of the most prominent coaches in Southern California. That's Ed Croson. Croson coached for years at Birmingham High School, and just recently went over to Chaminade. He got one of the largest coaching contracts in all the Southland after he beat Long Beach Poly last year. So Ed Croson, special hello to the Croson family.
That's a great hello. That's a great special hello, Kevin. Third and long for Foothill. Wow, that's impressive. Football Factory. He beats. Third and 12. Great defense by Highland. And they're going to have to, Foot doesn't have to put this ball in the air off a foot.
Boy, Big Jono was there to just smother Rango. Also had some help from Patrick Sua's little brother, Maverick, the Maverick.
Speaking of the Maverick, how about some other great Highland High School athletes? I'll run down my usual list. Jeff Adams, Kenyon Sills, Jeff Tilsher, Aldo Aparity, Jamie Carlson.
Well, Donnie James that went to Cal Berkeley, and Doug Rogers that went to Stanford.
How about Mr. Fletcher?
Don Longsinger, another Stanford guy, played with John Elway, receiver. You name the Maverick, about Steve Adams?
A high punt that's only going to go for about 15 yards, and it bounces backwards. So,
boy, he only gained about net 5 yards, 6 yards.
Unbelievable.
Speaking
so
of
now,
Jeff Adams.
Was that an Adams punt right there?
No, totally.
You know, I'm not going to let the cat. I will let the cat out of the bag a little bit. For a year and a half now, Kevin's been with us on Bright House Networks, and we have consistently, if not every single game, mentioned the great Jeff Adams, very close friend of Kevin and myself, Highland High graduate, and all around just great athlete. And he watches this as much as he can on Friday nights, and so he's become one of our call-outs, our shout-outs. 1st and 10. Cowboy, that was for you. Highland can't ask for a better start, a better opportunity right here. 1st and 10 from the Foothill 37-yard line. And Foothill steps up to the challenge and thrown back for a loss right here.
Delfino Pinedo coming in from his defensive line position. Also got some help from Jason Clagg. Good to see him still up and at it after that big hit he took right before the half from John Oglesby.
He was thumped, and Oglesby now on the trainer's bench. Brian, your thoughts on some great Highland athletes that you played against when you were a BHS driller? Some of your opponents at Highland.
Scott Cruz was one of the opponents we had. He was a real shifty back that played when we played in Highland. After this play, I'll get you some more.
Roman Aguilar.
2nd and 10. They go for a hard count. Nobody jumps. They get to the right side. It's spread out. This is going to be Ford. He takes a big hit, a couple of big hits, and Foothill just really consistent in their coverage out there. Keep going, B.
And Roman Aguilar, one of the guys we're going to talk about. Roman played a lot like Oglesby. Very punishing tackler.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very aggressive to the ball. So those were two of the big players
That's
that
a
I
good
remember we played
comparison.
at Highland.
That's a good comparison. Roman Aguilar and John Oglesby. Both of them played middle backer. Both of them ran the ball well at fullback position.
Yeah, and Roman would hit you. You know, when you got hit by Roman, you knew you got tattooed a little bit. But again, I was fortunate to play against guys like Roman. And Roman now is he still at West High, Kevin?
Assistant principal over at West High, yes sir.
Well, that does it for the 3rd quarter. What a nice football game we have. The traveling Foothill Trojans up by 7. When we come back, the 4th quarter on Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week.
We know home is where the heart is. That's why Bright House Networks works to make your home more enjoyable every day. Watch whatever you want on your time and find that perfect present. Share those special conversations. In a Bright House, it's all about delivering what your heart desires in the comfort of home.
ESPN News, your source for sports 24/7. Breaking news, live press conferences, highlights, pregame reports, live look-ins to the top games, post-game analysis from the best in the business, plus stats and fantasy updates. ESPN News, stay current.
Start of the 4th quarter, 3rd and 9 for the Highland Scots. It's going to be taken by Salazar. Salazar, oh my gosh, he is just
Ronnie
plowed over out there.
Jacob Clagg. Jacob Clagg having a big second half here.
Sure is.
Lit his fire there at halftime. You talk about guys at Foothill guys who were over here at Highland now. Coach Hartnett had some big years in the 60s there with Ned Permitter at Foothill, and one of his trusty assistants up here, Coach Gonzalez, is another Foothill guy. Those guys love the black and gold, but they say now that they're up here at Highland, they bleed Kelly Blue, Kelly Green, Royal Blue. Did I tell you I was colorblind?
Well, no. All right. Another Nice punt from Highland High School. Even though it's not Oglesby, it goes into the end zone. Nice job
And it goes into the end
by
zone
Michael
for
France.
We saw Michael France do a little bit of punting last year for the Scotsman in that Ridgey game, and he looked like an excellent punter. I remember last year he got one off about 65, 70 yards in the game that we were covering.
That's right. Well, one thing that bears mentioning that we are up at Highland High School, and I have Kevin as an alumnus, and I have Brian Adams, the BHS driller down there. And Brian, did you know that Kevin Keys played on the last Highland football team to beat the Drillers?
For 4 years at Highland High School.
Oh, they cut out Brian's mic right on time. I'm glad you didn't hear that, Kern County. All right, let's see if we can get Brian's audio response to Kevin Keys playing on the last team to beat the Drillers. Brian? You know what? It's almost a sign. Brian's mic goes down on the response to Kevin Keys. Tell us about that, Kevin. Since Brian is completely shut down.
Brian can't respond.
He's gonna bow to you. Wow. What year was that?
That was when Brian was in diapers. That was 1979. I don't know. Were you born then, Brian?
We got to get his mic fixed. So 30 years ago, hey, look at this. Nice run by Leos. He picks up another first down. So
that was the last days of Paul Briggs, legendary coach of the Drillers.
And number 12.
Oh, that must have been a great memory.
And just to be fair to both sides, we're celebrating an 18th birthday over here.
You know what we can do? We just keep talking about it, keep talking about it. Brian can't do one thing. He just got to sit there and listen. We got some dead batteries. We'll get Brian charged up here in a few minutes, and he'll come in rolling with his feedback on Kevin Keys beating the Drillers. Last team to do it. 1st and 10. Here comes Foothill, and Givens on an inside handoff, and he's looking for some space. Oh, goodness, still on his feet. What a nice run by Givens. That's a tough 3 yards to pick up right there.
Boy, Denzel Givens, tough little running back. We talked about the outstanding number 21s we've seen all season. He just fits that mold. Not a huge gain. This is probably one of the best 3-yard gains that you'll see all season.
Well, I think he's down right here.
Little hit and spin.
Man.
Boy, look at that.
Number 25, Fernando Leos.
Fernando Leos just bowls over the Highland defender there. Daryl Bolden gave up a little bit of weight differential there.
First down.
So Foothill up 14-7.
How about a tip of the cap and a nod to these great referees have called a really, really good game. And handoff. Look at this, Kevin.
Well, there's nothing. No acting there, even though his name is Denzel.
Remember the Titans? Oh, remember the Trojans? What a nice bit of running. I'm very impressed with Givens. Another fine running back we've seen this year.
Well, Denzel's not the biggest kid out there on the field. They've got him listed as 5'7", 165, but he's a tough young running back.
1st and 10. What a power play in there by the always present, always close Jimmy Gonzalez. Bursts through again. It's the 3rd or 4th time that Gonzalez has done that.
6 foot, 200-pound senior is Jimmy Gonzalez.
Here's the replay, just right through the middle. Wow, and he hangs onto the jersey. Kern County, can you believe this? The incomparable Super Sammy Bowman has, I wouldn't say sprinted, Super Sammy Bowman up top with us, fixing.
He's got his hat on backwards.
Wow. Hey, his hair's cut finally. Goodness gracious.
Needs a shave. Uh-oh, Leos.
Oh, my gosh.
Jimmy Gonzalez again. They cannot block Jimmy Gonzalez.
I would say that's his 4th play of such. Man, oh, man, somebody better get on him.
Well, they need this play here as we take a look at the AV instant replay. They need Jimmy Gonzalez to get the ball back here. They're down by a touchdown. Field position is not bad for the Trojans. But that tackle for a loss there is going to bring up 3rd and 16 for the Trojans.
So Highland's defense stepping up. It's a big play right here for both teams. Rangel throws it out, and it's going to be caught. Penalty flag on the play. Let's see who they call it on.
I'm not so sure that that's not going to be called on the Trojans. Number 24, Joshua Jackson, did a good job of adjusting to this ball, but he used his hands on the DB to push off.
Let's see. Officials meet, and they all nod their heads as the head official now will give the call, and it's going to be
offensive pass interference. It's a good call. Good call by the officials. As you take a look at Rangel here, does a good job of throwing this ball. Not a bad adjustment, but every time you put your hands out and then you extend out, you're going to get called for it.
It's just like, it's human nature, you know. It's just human nature to want to get yourself some distance. No dice. You got busted. Timeout on the field as the ball gets marched back.
So they're going to lose even more yardage.
Wow.
Testing 1, 2.
Well, Brian, you're back with the audio test. With the audio. So, Brian, now that there's a timeout on the field, it could be a more
damage TV.
It could be a more apropos time, and Kevin's trying to skip the subject of him being a part of the last team to ever beat the Drillers. Brian, you're back on.
Vance, now that I'm back, I was 7, Kevin, if you need to know, and I was probably up there with my father watching the game, and I did not know that you did beat the Drillers in your last year. The last Highland team to do it. Congratulations.
You know, Brian's very
30 years later.
Yeah, Brian.
Well, he's being nice. What do you want, Brian? You're too late for dinner.
He is being gracious because he didn't say anything about the fact that, hey, it's been 30 years since. So
they haven't beat him in 30 years.
Well, that was 79, and it's 2009.
Do the math.
Math on demand. 30 years, Brian, it's been since the Scotsmen have beat the Drillers.
30 years.
Did you guys have like a dinner or anniversary for that, Kevin?
Last year we did. A lot of the boys got together, came up here, did a little barbecue before the
That's right.
Driller game. It didn't work out so good, but hey.
Vance, do they like Bob Greasy and that group? Do they like get together if the game gets close and think they're gonna beat the Drillers?
Well, you know, can you imagine, Brian, if you guys had a dinner every time? Wow, that'd be, you know, you guys have a dinner every week.
Whatever.
Hey, 1st and 10, Highland. This is it. Very, very important drive. 7:18 left. They trail by a touchdown. This Foothill defense has been stingy all night long. In motion, number 88,
Look
Cody
out.
Jones.
That's
nice
wide
screen
open.
Play. What do you think, Kevin?
Alan Roy got some wheels.
Flag on the play. Roy's still up. A gain of 7 or 8 yards. Let's see what the call is.
Well, I think they're going to get the Scotsman there for maybe a legal block in the back. Take a look at here on the AV instant replay. This screen is set up nicely here, but right here, just out of our screen there, they're going to get an illegal block right there on number 52. That's not a bad call. Did need to make that block as Alan Roy could have gotten that yardage on his own without it, but
well,
can't fault the big guys for blocking up front.
Now Highland's going to have to go backwards here.
They calling it an ineligible receiver downfield?
I thought it was an illegal man downfield on the screen play.
Well, that means that the ball wasn't thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
So, something I didn't catch.
Wow. 1st and 15.
Pep band playing little crack that whip.
Give your back a slip.
Who was that? Is that Devo?
That was Devo, my man. Of course. No.
Whip it good. Trips left to the near side.
Salazar throws one up. This one will be up for grabs again as well. Who's got it? Hey, look at this.
Look at that.
Roy's still on his feet.
Watch out. Watch out, Alan Roy. Boy, that's the famous number 11 of the Highland Scotsman.
Brian.
30 years ago, that 11 got a victory.
Well, inside joke, everybody. Before the game started, Kevin and Brian and I were watching the Highland Scotsmen go through their announcements of senior night, and number 11 Alan Roy, that young man right there, goes up, and he's a very well-built young man. They've got him listed here at 6 foot, 200 pounds. Our Kevin Keys wore number 11. Kevin, what'd you say about that number?
Boy, I didn't look like that when I wore number 11.
Oh, bad snap. Flag on the play. Everything's happening. And on top of all that, Salazar takes a thunderous hit. So a lot to clean up here on this play. Let's see what the call
guys,
is.
One of the flag is because Roy wasn't set yet, but that's on the quarterback. You got to make sure all your guys are set. You just can't snap the ball. Roy just made a big play for you. He looked like a little winded. You got to make sure that he sets up and then make your call and ask for your snap. And then after that, it's just been a disaster, like you said, man. Balls hitting face masks, bouncing around. They were fortunate to recover it, but now I think they have to go back and get Roy, like you said earlier in the first half, Kevin, really get him involved. When he's healthy, he's one of the most electrifying players we have in this area.
Well, I like that screen that they ran, Brian, that was called back because it was an illegal lineman downfield, but they got to come back to that play. That's a big play for them with Roy running that little jailhouse screen.
Foothill declines the penalty, makes it 2nd and 20. Salazar runs to his left, cuts upfield, throws it, and it is caught. Nice pass, nice catch, and gets out of bounds.
A nice pass, Vance, but even a better throw on the run for Salazar, running the wrong way. Didn't get out of bounds. 5 minutes to go on the clock. Can't panic here, but look at that dart that he just throws right on the run there. Good catch by Guerrero.
They stopped his forward progress while he was inbound, so the clock will continue to tick. It's going to get below 5 minutes during this play. As Kevin said, 3rd and long.
Well, I like Salazar when they drop back to pass. He's a guy that can get the first down for you with his feet. Excellent speed does Salazar have.
Roy right down at the bottom right of your screen, out of the picture now actually. And we have a timeout, and it's going to be called by the Highland offensive minds. They want to talk it over. Next week, you have voted for us to go to Stockdale High School, where the Mustangs will host the Frontier Titans, a game that we're obviously looking forward to calling. A lot of our colleagues will be at that football game. A lot of our friends that live out there on the west side are going to be at that game. Should be a nice one.
Saw Principal Ramon Hendricks a week or so over there at Stockdale.
Yeah.
Kevin, when are you guys coming over to Stockdale?
Yeah, I've heard a little bit of that too. Did you tell about students getting on demand?
I told him. I said, hey, you know what? It's not
going on the computer,
Ramon. You
Well,
got to get your students online and vote at what's the address? ...
Well, guys, we got to hope that both teams didn't overlook their opponents this week, trying to get prepared for that game next week.
You're right. And what a game tonight, Ashby and Taft. Nice football game. There's the graphic right there. Frontier at Stockdale.
Olafson and Sheriff tonight. Boy, I bet you there was some. That could be a track meet.
Ben Estelle, how's he doing up at BC?
Ben Estelle, it's good to see that young man.
Every time I open the Californian, he's the shot. 3rd and 13. Brian, what do you see? What do you like?
I like a lot of number 11, whether it was 30 years ago or tonight. Let's get them ball.
Salazar from the shotgun. Big play. You can feel it. Drop straight back. Flicks it out to the right side. Foothill all over it.
Is this Bolden?
Bolden
gets
a big block. A great block and gets up to the 24-yard line. But
that's close. He's close. That's a first down.
Oh,
we talked about not hearing his name all night, and all of a sudden when they need a big play, the junior Darrell Bolden comes up big.
That's how you make an offensive coordinator a genius right there, Kevin.
Picks up a nice block right there from Jonathan Carter. Carter frees him, shoving the back there. That inconsequential first down, Highland, and that's a big first down for the Scotsman. 1st and 10 at the Foothill 24-yard line. Salazar, high snap. Are you kidding me? Fumble! Foothill football. You have to be kidding me.
Well, that's just an unfortunate Unfortunate break there for the Scotsmen as they were mounting a drive here in their own, getting to their own red zone, but that's the second or third time that's happened for them tonight. And it almost looked like it's a direct snap to Ford, but
Salazar has his paws up there too, so you have to hand it that Foothill defense. A great job of hopping on the football right there. Velez, he's had a nice night tonight too. Esteban Velez.
Velez has been around the ball all night tonight.
And now, big hit at the line of scrimmage.
Guess who?
Well, my guess is going to be, because I really didn't see it, is Gonzalez.
Jimmy Gonzalez.
Wow. Here comes Foothill.
Look at that. That's a collision there with Leos and Gonzalez.
And he's trying to strip that football as
Yes,
well.
they
He
are.
almost got it. Almost got it out. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
If I'm Foothill, I'm going to call a timeout here, use one of my timeouts and say, hey, guys, they're going to be stripping the football. 2 hands on the ball.
Great job by Highland, not jumping offside. 2nd and 9. The handoff goes to Givens. Givens drugged down at about the 32, 33-yard line. Now this clock just seems to be racing if you're Highland High School.
Givens has been big for the Trojans all night, giving his team a lift, the 1-2 punch of Leos and Givens. And here's Givens right here. Big 4 or 5 yard gain. Jimmy Gonzalez again with another tackle.
If we were giving out singular awards tonight, as we get a timeout here, Jimmy Gonzalez keeping his Highland Scotsman close. And the clock will start to roll again. 2:47 and counting. 3rd and 5.
How about Andy Nowarski, former Highland Scotsman?
Wow, Kevin.
Wide receiver and pitcher, went on to UCLA, pitched for the Bruins. Brian, you like that?
Anybody go to Bruins is good with me.
Rob Amble.
Wow. Mr. Mert go here, or?
No, he was Garcia's guy.
That's what I thought.
Amble was a All-American at Azusa Pacific, drafted by the Texas Rangers. Saw him make many big runs on this field.
My era, it was McClanahan, Cedro Porter.
Anthony McClanahan, Mel McClanahan, went on to Cal Berkeley. Outstanding linebacker up there for the Bears before he injured himself. There's a guy that definitely would have went on and played in the NFL had he not been injured up there.
Foothill picks up a big first down as we're waxing eloquence about Highland alumnus. That's a big, big first down right there. Let's see how they manage the clock and if they can hang on to the football. 2:21 as Foothill looks to get their first win in league. Talked to assistant coach Randy Maples before the game, and I said, you got a good bunch of guys here? He said, absolutely, Vance. A very good group of young men. What a nice football game here in week 8 we're calling. 2 minutes left in it.
There he is.
Givens! Givens at the 40, at the 30, at the 20, at the 10. Givens, touchdown, Foothill.
Mama, there go that man again.
That Deuce One is doing it another week. Who's 21 for Frontier or Stockdale?
21 for Stockdale's got to be either Nick Shannon or Malik Henderson.
That seems to be the number, but Givens is really shifty in the hole, Kevin. I mean, he's able to make you miss right there in the middle. And then once you see his sideline, it looks just like a repeat of last week.
And he's not just an edge guy, Brian. He's running between the tackles there.
Well, one thing, I hope that the young kids that are watching, if you're sitting at home thinking you're too small and worried about stature, watch him run the ball. It's because of his heart and his desire. He runs the ball as if he's 6'2", 6'3", because he believes in himself. If you're at home and you're a young kid and you are number 11 back in 79 and you couldn't wear the jersey, or you like myself couldn't fit the jersey, don't give up. Just play hard. Never know what can happen.
The PAT is up and it's good, 21-7. One thing about Givens also, fellas, is that When he needs to hit the hole hard, he does. When he needs to be patient, when he needs to wait, he does that as well. So he can run both. There's a great shot of that young man. It's had a real nice evening.
Cap Award.
That is a Cap Award. The Keys Adams Palm Award. And he's got it tonight. On offense, it's him, and on defense, it would probably be Jimmy Gonzalez.
One thing that he showed was some track speed, too, as he got out in the open. He just outran the defender there. He showed some track speed on that play.
Well, Brian, you're watching the monitor right now. Here's a nice run by Gibbons.
Look at this.
He makes the move in the hole, and then he's going to take off, and right there he's going to outrun guys. What I like, too, like I said, is how hard he runs, Vance. And you know, one thing about playing football, the guy who's able to shift gears, that running back who can change his speeds and stop on a dime, he's going to be very difficult to play against because he's always under control, and he gets you off balance. And then once he accelerates, he steps on the gas, he's gone.
And the one thing I liked about that, Brian, was what he did with the football after he scored the touchdown. Just handed the ball to the official and act like he'd been there before.
Love it. Well, Highland now with a $150, and they'll get a chance to get some decent field position. Take it at the 20-yard line if he gets a couple blocks. Jones looking for some room. Oh, what a nice open field tackle out there by Omar Uria, and we've seen him have some nice plays tonight.
Omar Uria, just a sure-handed open field tackler, and Cody Jones has some good speed. And not easy to bring down in the open field, but look at this. Puts his helmet right on the knee. Uh-oh. Dueling cameramen.
There are times when really you just can't come up with anything to explain what the viewers are watching. You can't really come up with words to describe it.
Dimitri obviously happy with his Trojans tonight. One of Foothill's finest.
Wow. That's about all I can come up with. Wow.
Zach, I don't know what you're doing down there, but you're sure bringing out the best in this crew.
1st and 10. Salazar goes to the air, lobs one up, has a man open, and it is caught. Look at this, everybody. Oh, my goodness. 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. Not over by any stretch of the imagination.
Salazar threw that ball about 55 yards in the air, and the Foothill defenders thought, okay, there's no way he's going to throw this ball by us. And watch this. I mean, just zings it.
Great concentration.
You know,
and
Kevin,
nice
you
job.
guys couldn't see it on the replay, but one of the things that we talk about all the time, Kevin, is the receiver not stopping. He never stopped running from the time he took off. He trusted the quarterback, and Salazar's throwing two of the best deep balls we've seen all season.
You're right, Brian.
Now he's in the shotgun at the 23-yard line. Salazar's going to have to stay with his legs. Nice job by the Foothill defense, or that would have been a first down.
Wow, it's just a minute to go in this ball game, but some spark.
Highland burns their
not
last
gonna be
time
soon
out.
enough.
Well, it burns their last time out right there, Kevin. So now it's just a race with the clock. Can they get in the end zone, get an onside, make something special happen? I don't know.
Well, all of the big plays tonight have come from Salazar. He's been at one point or one end of it, whether he's throwing the ball downfield to his receivers or making the big run with his feet. Salazar has shown a lot of spark for the Scotsman tonight.
Our director tonight is Zachary Flores. Our high school football director, Bernie Johnson, gets a much appreciated and much needed Friday night off. You figure we start doing these things in late August. We do 1 week ahead of time and every single Friday night. So Bernie gets the night off. Zachary's in the truck, no stranger to directing as he does Cal State basketball and Damage TV. Hey, Cal State basketball just around the corner this Sunday night, everybody. This Sunday night, Buck Owens Crystal Palace. Second annual CSUB men's basketball tip-off. Your buddy Corey Costello will be co-hosting with myself and Bo Redstone. Look forward to that. That's at Crystal Palace if you want to get there. Let's go. Zachary Flores, there he is. At a pivotal 2nd and 9 with less than a minute left, Zach sticks his head out of the truck. Salazar has everybody at him, and he is just grabbed and thrown to the ground.
A little wrestling move there by Ronnie Owens. Looked like a suplex. Looks like a famous wrestling move of the Foothill Trojans. Watch this.
Wow.
Takedown. Two points.
They've got to hurry now. Half a minute
Watch
left.
out.
Salazar on the run. Salazar gets this one out of his hands. Owens all over him, so that'll be an incomplete pass, and that'll bring up 4th and 16. So that's pretty much it right here.
Jesus Bueno was putting the pressure on that one.
Foothill defense. You and Brian called it on the grass at pregame that most certainly would be a storyline tonight, and it is.
Foothill gave up 42 points to the Blades, but that's Jefferson Street Joe Pearson put the ball up in the air on them. But against the run,
J Street JP in a quadruple overtime, mind you. 4th and 16. Here's a football game right here. Salazar drops back, throws it out to Roy. It's going to be lobbed up there, and it's intercepted, picked off, and that's going to be it. Foothill gets off the Sniden league, and Highland remains winless in league.
Edgar Linares, the outstanding kicker and defensive back for the Trojans, goes up high to make an outstanding interception for the Trojans. Nice play by that young man.
Well, there's a good look at those guys down on that sidelines. They put a lot of hours in since August, and this is their first league win. They've lost some tough games, and as Coach Maples told us, Assistant Coach Maples told us, a great group of guys, and Mike Gregg, the head coach, congratulations to you. Coach Hartnett, you've got a group of talented guys. Your closing comments, Kevin.
Well, this is the Battle of the East Side. It's always a tough game when the Trojans and Scotsmen or the Blades get together, and right now the Foothill Trojans are the ones that get to celebrate.
Brian Adams, your final thoughts on this really, really good football game?
That was an excellent game. Foothill came out with the victory, and 2 class coaches, and it was a pleasure to watch tonight.
On behalf of our captain on the grass, our director, Zach, and all of the gentlemen that made this a really fun night tonight, we appreciate it. My partner, Kevin Keys, up top. Can't wait to see it next Friday night right here. Bakersfield High School Football Game of the Week. Bright House Networks is going to be Stockdale hosting Frontier. Get ready. Can't wait. Good night. God bless.
Good night, everybody.
Ideas for next week's show.
Key matchups.
Hey, I like that.
Okay, notice how the pocket square and tie match up with the fuchsia socks. Okay, you don't like that one. I have another one.
Sunday NFL Countdown, presented by IBM. Sundays at 11.
ESPN, serving football fans everywhere.
Your home entertainment is getting even better with Bright House Networks, TV, home phone, and high-speed internet. 3 services working together. So you get caller ID that follows you, showing up on your TV, PC, and your phone. Voicemail that you can check from home or from your computer. Even movies you can order on demand. It's even more access to instant entertainment for one low monthly price with a Combo Plus from Bright House Networks.